Joseph's story ended with joy, but it was also a new beginning. He forgave his brothers, understanding God's greater purpose. God had used every hardship to save many lives. Joseph's family settled in Egypt, safe from hunger. The years of pain and betrayal were redeemed by love and forgiveness. Joseph's faith turned darkness into light. God brought beauty from ashes, hope from despair. The story reminds us that even when life is unfair, God is at work. He can turn the worst moments into blessings. Joseph's journey shows the power of forgiveness and trust. The family was restored, and a nation was saved. Joseph's dreams had come true in ways he never expected. God's plan was bigger than anyone imagined. The end of Joseph's story was really a new beginning for his family, and that is a reason for hope, always. Joseph's brothers were speechless and terrified. They expected anger, but Joseph offered forgiveness. "Don't be afraid. God sent me ahead to save lives," he told them. Joseph saw God's hand in every hardship. He embraced his brothers, tears washing away years of pain. Joseph told them to bring Jacob and the whole family to Egypt. He promised them safety and the best land. The brothers hurried home with the news. Jacob, overwhelmed with joy, learned Joseph was alive. The family moved to Egypt, escaping the famine. Joseph and Jacob were reunited in a tearful embrace. The story of betrayal became a story of rescue. Joseph's forgiveness brought healing and hope. What began as jealousy ended in restoration. God's plan had turned pain into blessing. The family was together again, safe and provided for. Joseph's journey had come full circle. The boy with the dreams had become the savior of his family. Joseph, now ruler of Egypt, managed the land wisely. He stored grain during the 7 good years, preparing for the famine. When famine struck, Egypt had food while other nations starved. People from everywhere came to buy grain from Joseph. Back home, Jacob sent his sons to Egypt for food. The brothers bowed before Joseph, not recognizing him. Joseph remembered his dreams as he saw them bow. He tested his brothers to see if their hearts had changed. He accused them of being spies and demanded they bring Benjamin. The brothers returned with Benjamin, and Joseph was deeply moved. Unable to hide his identity any longer, Joseph revealed himself. "I am Joseph. Is my father still alive?" he cried. The brothers were shocked and afraid. Joseph forgave them, seeing God's purpose in his journey. The dream had come true. Joseph's family was reunited. 2 of Pharaoh's officials, the cupbearer and the baker, joined Joseph in prison. Both had troubling dreams, and Joseph offered to interpret them, trusting God for the answers. The cupbearer's dream meant he'd be restored to his job. The baker's, that he'd lose his life. Joseph asked the cupbearer to remember him, but he forgot. 2 years passed, and then Pharaoh himself had disturbing dreams. None of his wise men could explain them. The cupbearer finally remembered Joseph. Joseph was brought from prison, cleaned up, and stood before Pharaoh. Pharaoh told his dreams of fat and skinny cows, plump and withered grain. Joseph explained 7 years of plenty would be followed by 7 years of famine. He advised Pharaoh to store food during the good years. Pharaoh was amazed and saw God's wisdom in Joseph. He made Joseph second in command over all Egypt. Joseph went from prisoner to ruler in a single day. The boy with the dreams was now the man with the plan. Egypt's future was in Joseph's hands. Joseph's faithfulness had prepared him for this moment. The dreams were coming true. Joseph arrived in Egypt, sold as a slave to Potiphar, captain of Pharaoh's guard. He had lost everything: home, family, freedom. But Joseph chose to work hard and trust God. Potiphar noticed Joseph's honesty and skill and put him in charge of his entire household. Everything Joseph touched prospered, and Potiphar's house flourished, but trouble found Joseph again. Potiphar's wife lied about him, and Joseph was thrown into prison, though he was innocent. Once more, Joseph found himself in a dark place. Yet, even in prison, Joseph helped others and earned the warden's trust. The warden put Joseph in charge of the other prisoners. Joseph's faith and kindness shone, even behind bars. God was with Joseph, turning hardship into opportunity. Joseph's story was marked by setbacks, but he never gave up. He continued to serve, to hope, and to trust. In every place, slave or prisoner, Joseph's character stood out. He was faithful in small things, even when life was unfair. Joseph's journey was shaping him for something greater. The dreams God gave him were not forgotten. Even in prison, Joseph's hope remained alive. His story was far from over. In the darkest places, Joseph's light still shone, and God's plan was still unfolding. One day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers in the fields. Joseph set out wearing his colorful coat, unaware of the danger ahead. When his brothers saw him, jealousy turned to action. "Here comes the dreamer," they sneered and grabbed him. They tore off his coat and threw him into a deep, empty pit. Joseph pleaded for help, but his brothers ignored him. As they ate lunch, a caravan of traders appeared. Judah suggested selling Joseph instead of leaving him to die. They sold Joseph for 20 pieces of silver. The traders took Joseph away to Egypt, and he watched his home disappear. The brothers dipped his coat in goat's blood and brought it to Jacob. "Is this Joseph's coat?" they asked. Jacob, heartbroken, believed his beloved son was dead. He mourned deeply, refusing to be comforted. The brothers kept their secret, guilt hidden in their hearts. Joseph was gone, a slave in a foreign land. The beautiful coat was now a symbol of loss. But Joseph's journey was far from over. Even in darkness, his story continued. Once, there was a boy named Joseph, his father's favorite out of 12 sons. Jacob gave Joseph a beautiful coat of many colors, a gift that made Joseph feel special, like a prince. But Joseph had something even more special, dreams from God. In one dream, his brothers' bundles of wheat bowed to his. In another, the sun, moon, and 11 stars bowed to him. Joseph eagerly told his family, but his brothers were not pleased. They understood the dreams meant Joseph would one day rule over them. Their jealousy grew every time they saw his coat or heard about his dreams. The brothers began to see Joseph as a problem, not a brother. Their anger and jealousy grew, filling their hearts with dark thoughts. Joseph's dreams and his father's love set him apart, but also made him a target. The brothers whispered and plotted, their resentment growing. Joseph, unaware, continued to dream big, believing God had a special plan for him. But the brothers' jealousy was about to change everything. The beautiful coat and the big dreams would soon lead Joseph into trouble. The seeds of betrayal were sown. Joseph's world was about to turn upside down. The story of the boy with the beautiful coat was just beginning. And soon, his dreams would be tested in ways he never imagined.